I'm Tina Fordham, and you're watching The Navigator. This is the final episode of 2025, and what a year it has been. Let's go bravely together into the future and discuss what we'll be watching in 2026. For the first time in memory, geopolitical risk has moved to the #1 concern for the year ahead in CEO surveys, and 94% of companies say that they have allocated more resources to prepare. These findings are consistent with what we've been observing too. Looking back, I think that 2025 was the year of the geopolitical wake-up call for the C-suite. In our conversations, we saw a shift away from debates over how do we know if geopolitical risk will continue to how can we adapt fast to prepare and position to benefit from change. Even though 2025 was a year that saw the acceleration of the Geopolitics Supercycle, we're still pragmatic optimists, and we think you should be too. Here's our snapshot of some of the most impactful events for 2026, from elections with geostrategic significance to key court decisions and personnel changes that will shape the year. U.S. midterms are top of every list for obvious reasons. They will be a temperature check of U.S. public opinion, and there's a growing chance that Republicans might lose control of Congress. Thinking about one of our top themes, the outlook for European security and defense, the Hungarian elections in April will be of outsized importance. Viktor Orban is under pressure at home, but he has the support of the White House as well as China and Russia, so this election will be pivotal from a geopolitical perspective. President Trump remains at the center of the global political chessboard, but there are many figures we'll be tracking. From the choice of the new Fed chair to the next phase in the Russia-China friendship without limits between Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Here in Europe, the ability of UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer to work with his counterparts in France and Germany will be of major significance as Europe moves to adjust to its rapidly evolving relationship with the United States. These three leaders are now the three musketeers of Europe, but each faces domestic challenges. In Latin America, the possibility of regime change bears close watching as President Trump reimagines the Monroe Doctrine for the 21st century. We see the most reason to be optimistic when it comes to the global economy, and this will also help to insulate the impact of any potential geopolitical shocks. President Trump has said that the Middle East peace deal will soon move into the second phase, bringing with it the possibility of expansion of the Abraham Accords. Now, it might be counterintuitive, but I think an underpriced possibility is that the increased pressure on traditional allies could have some silver linings. Why? Because an existential threat can often focus minds faster and more effectively than an economic crisis. It also presents leaders with the political cover to make difficult decisions. Well, my team had some creative ideas for Word of the Year, Eurosausage being one of them. The Economist magazine identified slop, and the Oxford Dictionary nominated ragebait in keeping with the tech theme. My nominees for Word of the Year for 2026 are predatory and coercion, as the intensification of the trend of projecting power continues, whether we're talking about countries or companies. Get ready for some wolf warrior diplomacy, regulatory action, and possibly takeover bids. So be careful out there, but let's close as ever with my favorite quote from Louis Pasteur: "Fortune favors the brave and chance favors the prepared mind." I'll see you again in January when we'll unveil our geostrategy risk map for 2026 and discuss whether the year ahead is likely to be a better one. Don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our free newsletter.